Published 0707 Est, the 7th of November 2017. Updated 0954 Est, the 7th of November 2017. Farhana Ahmed, from Wembley, who encouraged UK terror attacks on a pro-ISIS Facebook group, was spared jail after a judge took pity on her children's suffering. A mother Afif, who encouraged terror attacks on the UK after joining a pro-ISIS Facebook group, was spared jail after a judge said the sooner you get back to your children the better. Farhana Ahmed, 40, from northwest London, was a prolific contributor to the Facebook group called Power Rangers. The closed section, which had 1,406 members, described itself as a pro-ISIS group. The purpose of it is to connect mujahideen brothers from different parts of the world and to help each other. Ahmed used the fake name Kay Adams to encourage terrorism on the social media site between September and November 2015. Ahmed, who lives close to Wembley Stadium, made 19 separate Facebook posts which directly or indirectly encouraged terrorism both within the UK and abroad. Unlike other extremist posts, her postings included a speech by an ISIS spokesman and a link to an extensive library of terrorist publications. Prosecutor Ben Lloyd said, "The Old Bailey heard today Ahmed 5 homeschool children, aged between 6 and 16, had suffered greatly after she was arrested in July last year and held in custody. She was given a 2-year sentence, suspended for 2 years after pleading guilty to 1 count of encouraging terrorism and 3 counts of disseminating a terrorist publication." Judge Christopher Moss QC accepted that Ahmed was suffering extremely difficult personal circumstances at the time of the offences and had since shown completely genuine remorse. He said, "Although your marriage subsists, your husband's involvement with the family has at times been less than wholehearted, effectively leaving you as a single mother." Judge Moss revealed that when Ahmed made the Facebook posts, she was living in temporary accommodation with her 5 children where you and your family had suffered at the hand of strangers. He continued, "Since you were charged and remanded in custody, this has plainly had an extremely adverse effect on your children who have been looked after by family members." Judge Christopher Moss QC was moved by a letter from her eldest son and told Ahmed, "In your exceptional case, the sooner you are returned to your children, the better for all concerned. You express remorse for your actions, which I regard as completely genuine. It's quite clear to me that you regret in the strongest possible way to your criminal conduct." Judge Moss said, "Ahmed made the posts at a very difficult time in your life when frankly it seems to me you were not yourself." The judge was moved by a letter from her daughter and told Ahmed, "In your exceptional case, the sooner you are returned to your children, the better for all concerned." Ahmed's posts, in which she expressed approval of the Paris terror attacks, had attracted a large number of followers. The court had heard Ahmed travel to Turkey with her husband Mohammed Birmal Karwani and their 5 children in November 2013. She and the children returned to Britain while her husband stayed behind, and, when she tried to go to Turkey in August 2015, she was turned away by authorities, the Old Bailey heard. Mr. Lloyd said it may be that following this, the defendant decided to begin her campaign on Facebook encouraging terrorism. Her Facebook account included images of the aftermath of the terrorist bombings in Tunis in November 2015, days after the Paris terror attacks. In November 2015, she posted, "So the Muslims in the West wanna have a cry and a moan and condemn and pay and speak out for a handful of kafirs in France compared to Syria, who has had way more killed, but the lives do not matter to the Muslims that ally themselves with the West." In mitigation, Hussein Zahir said his client was a good mother and was of remorse. Judge Moss said her period in custody had already had an extremely adverse effect on the children. He told Ahmed, "You have devoted your life, apart from this abhorrent behavior, to the care of your children. There is no realistic danger of you returning to the mindset evidence of your conduct of 2 years ago. You want nothing more than to return to your family, and your family want nothing more than to return to them. They have suffered greatly by your period in custody. Your case is in an entirely exceptional category." As she left the dock, Ahmed, who wore a headscarf, acknowledged the judge and quietly said, "Thank you." The prosecution offered no evidence on 2 terrorism funding charges which related to thousands of pounds sent to her husband, who has since been acquitted of terrorism offences in Turkey and returned to the UK. Ahmed was spared jail for posting Islamic State propaganda on a Facebook group called Power Strangers after a judge was moved by the suffering of her 5 children. According to the details of the indictment, Ahmed transferred £3,108.75 11,000 lira to a Turkish bank account in the name of Mohammed Birmal Karwani in September 2014 and a further £4,300 15,786 lira in February 2015. The offences were all committed while she was on bail for the alleged funding offences. Denying her bail in April, Mr. Justice Holroyd had told her, "I have considered anxiously the most unhappy prospect of depriving children of their mother, but I am afraid I am driven to the conclusion that when she deliberately breached her bail, she knew well it was likely to have serious consequences for her children, and even that did not deter her."